Philately.
It's a philately.
Post office
Oh,
philately.
the post office. That's wonderful. Have you been working a long time?
This is my 6th year.
Gee, that's wonderful, hey?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So, I hope you enjoy the exhibition.
She does our...
Ted Sutterson from Natal, here locally in South.
And Robert Pat from the Philippines.
I'm John McIntyre from Canada.
Jane Bakefield, New Zealand.
John Sinclair, Australia.
Jan Berg from Sweden.
Ray Todd from Australia.
Francis Kittle from Great Britain.
Gaza Dima from the United States.
Alex from Germany.
Walid Al-Saif from Kuwait.
Finally, on behalf of Mr. Liu Jiawei, Commissioner of China.
Wiggin from Malaysia.
Fernando Arana from Spain.
Ronald Dwi Putranto from Indonesia.
Carol Zhang from Hong Kong.
I'm representing Dr. Yao Kai-wing from Singapore.
Madhukar Jindal from India.
And Ferdinand from Thailand.
Thank you very much.
Can't leave me out. Mustafa Hassan from Pakistan.
I think Mustafa's the youngest person in the room by about 25 years. I think he turned 18 about 3 days ago.
This is the Central Convention Center, where they're having the International Stamp Exhibition.
I assume this is working, yes. We're going to start in about 5 minutes. So if you could please move this way. Dealers, you shouldn't be open, so please close. Asian International Stamp Exhibition, also known as Johannesburg 2010. I want to let you know that I am absolutely delighted to be here, and I'm sure that all of you are equally delighted that I am here. Welcome to everybody. I'll go through the special guests in a moment, but let me just start by welcoming all of you, whether you come from South Africa or elsewhere. South Africa is a very special place. It has been described as a rainbow nation, it's been described as the world in one country. But I just want to say one thing to all our visitors. Please remember that South Africa is not simply stamps. The lovely pictures that you will see on all the stamps, particularly at the South African Post Office stand, are of things that exist here in South Africa, and we urge you to take the opportunity while you're here to get out and see the country. Go to Cape Town, the mother city, the most spectacular place in South Africa. Go to Mpumalanga, to Nelspruit, the gateway to the Kruger Park. Go to Bloemfontein, the gateway to nowhere. Go to Soweto, go to all the places. You know, it's an extraordinary thing, ladies and gentlemen. South Africa has been a country as such for only 100 years. It's been a constitutional democracy for only 16 years. And the strides that this country have made have been amazing. You know, we recently hosted the Soccer World Cup. And that gave the committee that organized this function a great deal of experience on how to do international events. We're very proud of what we achieved here in South Africa, and we're particularly proud of all the people who have come here this week to be part of this international exhibition. I'd like to particularly mention to you that there is running concurrently with this exhibition a meeting of the Pan-African Postal Union, and we're delighted that they have chosen to meet in South Africa, and I understand a number of the delegates are present here today, and a particular welcome to our fellow postal authorities throughout Africa. I understand that a total of 23 countries are represented at that meeting, 23 African countries. I'd like to welcome our guests today. We have a distinguished set of guests, which I think speaks well of the status of this particular international stamp show. You will get to see them and hear of them more in due course, but let me just mention some of the important people who are here. And if you're not mentioned, it doesn't mean you're not important. It simply means that time does not permit that you get mentioned by name. We have Mrs. Masaknesi Lafoko, who is the Group Chief Executive of South African Post Offices, which shows the very high regard that South African Post Office hold for philately and the effort that the South African Post Office has made to be part of this exhibition. We have the recently elected President of the International Philatelic Federation. I'm not going to try and do any of these in French, by the way. I know South Africa has got 10 official languages. I'm not versed in any of them, so I'll just stick with English. We have from Singapore Mr. Tai Peng Hang, who is the President of FIP. We have the President of the Federation of Inter-Asian Philately, which are the host federation for this event, Mr. Surajit Gonvantana. And again, I apologize for the pronunciation. From the South African Post Office, we have Johan van Beek, who most of you will know, who is one of the co-chairs of this exhibition, together with Howard Green, who you will also all know. We're very pleased to have with us John Raskotzi, who is the Group Executive of the South African Post Office, responsible for mail business. We have Cedric Roche, who is the President of the Philatelic Foundation of South Africa, one of the major sponsors. And we have Ian Matheson, who is the President of the Federation of South African Philatelic Federation of South Africa. I'd also like to make special mention of the presence here today of Michael Seppi, who is the curator of the Queen's Collection. And we're very pleased not only to see you, but also to be honoured with part of Her Majesty's collection. Thank you for coming. We intend to keep this opening brief and to the point. And with that in mind, it gives me great pleasure then to call upon the co-chairman, Mr. Howard Green, to make some opening remarks.
Thank you very much for the introduction, Adrian. Mr. Latoka, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor for me today to be able to welcome you all here. I think that we have achieved a couple of days here what I thought was going to take much longer than a couple of days. What I'd like to do is very briefly mention the people without whom this would not have been possible. First and foremost is the South African Post Office, who are one of our two major sponsors. The Philatelic Foundation of South Africa, the other major sponsor. We have, in addition to that, WBHO Construction, who were responsible for the donation of all the new exhibition frames. And in addition to that, another company that came to our rescue with all the signage and so on, Claude Neal. Without these people, I think we would not look the way we do today. And that is, as Adrian said, we're going to keep it brief. That is brief. Thank you very much.
Hello, how are you? How are you? Good to see you.
Thank you, Howard. I think everyone here would agree that you have grossly understated the effort that you and your committee have put into the organisation of this, and all of us who will be here this week are extremely grateful to you for your dedication, skill and hard work. Thank you very much. It now gives me great pleasure to call upon the Group Chief Executive of the South African Post Office, Mrs. Lefoka, who will address us on behalf of the Post Office and will officially open this exhibition. Mrs. Lefoka.
Master of Ceremonies, members of the South African Post Office Board and Executives, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please indulge me as I extend a special word of welcome to Mr. Howard Green, Mr. Johan van Wyk, Mr. Cedric Roche, Dr. Ian Matheson, Mr. Hian from Thailand, Mr. Gong Vatana from Thailand, Michael Sefi, Mr. Walter, and also our Secretary General of the Pan-African Postal Union, Ms. Rhoda Masaviru. Yesterday, the UPU Philatelic Workshop for Postal Administrators from Africa got underway in Balalaika for Challenge Center just down the road, where delegates are currently sharing knowledge and experiences in finding ways on how philatelic services can impact on socio-economic and educational development in Africa. We are today here opening the 2010 Joburg International STEM Show. Our hope is to attract and encourage new entrants into the STEM collection arena. We also hope that the show will highlight the importance STEM play in our everyday life. As South Africa, we last hosted the International STEM Show in 1998. So as in our new democracy, we are indeed proud that we are here today, being able to be in this hall with all the beautiful STEM and very memorable steps that we are going to be able to see. At the show, members of the International STEM Collection Community from some 45 countries will join local philatelists to showcase over 1,500 frames of exhibits with over 20,000 pages of stamps and philatelic material. We are looking to an exciting STEM show with a few exhibitions meant to capture the attention of attendees. These include the 8 definitive stamps that I will speak about shortly, the Code of Honor, which shows, amongst others, the history of South Africa from 1870 to 2010, and a selection from the Royal Stamp Collection, the first personalized ever stamp in South Africa, where you can have your picture taken and printed on the stamp. The STEM show will also give attendees an opportunity to purchase our beautiful World Cup soccer stamps, which are available only until the end of this year. May I also say that with our soccer stamps, we also had a collaboration with postal operators and philatelists in the Southern Africa, and we really hope that this is a collaboration that will be able to take us forward. STEM enthusiasts refer to stamps as the smallest ambassadors of the country. And in actual fact, Irish poet William Woody said, postage stamps may be described as the silent ambassadors of nationalities. To some extent, this is true, in that whatever country has achieved, can be immortalized on a stamp. For example, in South Africa, we became the first African country to issue a stamp in 1853. The stamp that was only the world's first triangular stamp. Subsequent to that, we have issued stamps to commemorate many of the milestones we have achieved as a country. Since the advent of our democracy, we have issued stamps for hosting the 1995 Rugby World Cup, the 1996 African Cup of Nations, the 2003 World Cricket World Cup, and this year the 2010 FIFA Soccer World Cup. We've also issued stamps to commemorate all our presidents, from President Nelson Mandela to our current President Jacob Zuma. Many of our athletes, mentors, scientists, writers, and other prominent people have earned a place of honor on our stamps. Notably, the South African Nobel Laureate issue of 1996. Others include Dr. Chris Barnard, who performed the world's first heart transplant, Enoch Sontonga, composer of our national anthem, Nkosi Sikelel' Africa, and Mark Shuttleworth, Africa's first man in space. We celebrate our heritage and culture through our stamps. For example, we also issued the Mapungubwe stamps. As you know, Mapungubwe is a very, very good site in South Africa, one of our heritage sites that talks about the origins of Africans and people in the country. Constitutional Hill stamps, the dinosaur stamps, and this year we issued the Roster Sparrow stamps. Stamps are an educational tool and an investment tool. We therefore need to encourage our children and interest them in stamp collection. It will help them to learn the histories of their respective countries and the countries of the world. Also, as a stamp collector today, you may be able to fund your child's collection at your college education sometime in the future. But I also want to take this privilege for us to have an opportunity to launch our 8th definitive stamp series here at the International Stamp Show. We in fact print definitive stamps roughly every 7 years and are the mainstream stamps that are used as postage on all our postal items. This 8th definitive series we are launching here today depicts beadwork. Beadwork which is close to all Africans in any part of Africa. A beautiful craft practiced mainly by women at grassroots level throughout South Africa. And because the slaves are at grassroots level, they use their beadwork to make and depict items that are important to the heartbeat of our nation. The stamp shows the fantastic scope and variety of what we indigenous cultures embrace. They range from a traditional fertility figure to a modern cell phone rather than beings. And the objects on the stamps are beautiful. Beautiful enough to form part of the South African Museum's permanent collection. We have also made it easy for our tellers to distinguish between the different denominations by putting a differently colored drop behind each stamp. I would like to thank Sasha Linka, who took the photos that illustrate the items on the stamp. I will be remiss if I do not thank Physical Museum under the curatorship of Ms. Kaufman in allowing us to be able to use that, and thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to dedicate this stamp to every beadwork artist in this beautiful country of ours. The work that they do, the inspiration that they give us through this beadwork that is now depicted in a stamp in the smallest ambassador of this country that will be taken throughout the world for people to really know what the heartbeat of South Africa is all about. We thank them for the messages that millions of definitive stamps will carry into the world. It will also be, I am still the CEO of the Post Office, as much as I'm here in this multilateral issue, that I'd like to talk about some other exciting developments that the South African Post Office will do. We have embarked on a journey to corporatize Postbank in 2004, and if members would know that the first savings book we used to use stamps in our savings book is there. Our corporatization journey is on the way, and we are hoping that it will be signed into law before the end of this financial year, that is March 2011. This is like scientific association. The support that we get from a STEM advisory committee members, we have made sure that we do that we could be here sitting here and we're very, very proud that the South African Post Office, we were just given this opportunity to be a small part of this international philanthropic exhibition. And we really hope that we enjoy ourselves and let the STEM collection era restart again and let us excite people into STEM collection, because it is definitely a way of not only keeping our history, not only enriching our heritage, but also making sure that we can put some little bit pride and some money in our pockets. Thank you very much.
I would like to thank Mrs. Booker very much for the comments. There was one issue of stamps earlier this year, end of last year, that she didn't mention, and I would commend it to all of you. And there was a little sheet of taxi signs. And I would encourage all of you, South African and visitors, to buy a set of these stamps and then head down to Rivonia Road and try them out on the taxis. Report back to South African Post Office, they'd love to hear. Because South Africa is a country of equal opportunity, what we are going to do now is to ask our 8 distinguished guests to arm themselves with a pair of scissors, to come down and to together cut the ribbon officially opening this exhibition. So if I could ask Mrs. Lafoka, Mr. Yan, Mr. Gongatana, Mr. Green, Mr. Van Beek, Mr. Coxey, Mr. Roche, and Mr. Matheson, please come down. Which side will it? This side? You all got scissors? Okay, we'll do this on the count of 3.
It's beautiful.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Thank you all very much.
Wow.
I think we'll take the pieces of ribbon and put them on eBay.
That guy,
he's got a good sense of humor.
fantastic speaker.
It's true.
Fantastic speaker.
Wonderful.
Or rather, the South African Post Office is going to make a small presentation to 5 of our distinguished guests, and I'd ask Mr. Lafoka to come and join me here. We are handing to the guests a frame of one of the new 8 definitive stamps, plus the stamp to commemorate this particular exhibition. And in addition, the South African Post Office has produced what looks like an absolutely fantastic book dealing with the 8 definitive, with beadwork in South Africa, and hopefully copies are available to be obtained from the South African Post Office stand. If I could ask Mrs. Lafoka, if we could start with the President of the International Federation,
Sitting over there.
Mr. Hiang, to accept a gift from the South African Post Office. The President of the Inter-Asian Philatelic Federation, Mr. Gongatana. Sorry, thirdly, Mr. Green, the co-chairman of this exhibition. Mr. Roche, the president of the foundation. finally, but not least, Mr. Matheson, the President of the Philatelic Federation of Southern Africa. Inverted error already. Thank you very much. In closing this official opening ceremony, there's just a couple of things I want to mention. Mrs. Lafoka drew your attention to that world record-breaking mosaic done with South African stamps. I'd like to call forward the people from HTC College who were responsible for putting it together, just to receive our acknowledgement. Where are they? HTC College, where are you? Here we go. That not only is the National Post Office of South Africa represented here, but there are stands with the postal authorities of some of our close neighbours, Namibia, Botswana, and I particularly want to welcome Tanzania and say to you, Jambo, Habari, Missouri, having lived in Tanzania, it's a wonderful place. There's also, of course, all our neighbouring countries that we mustn't forget. We mustn't forget the wonderful stamps that come out of our neighbouring countries, Lesotho, Swaziland, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Angola, and so on more up through Africa. Take the opportunity while you're here to look for those stamps. They're all fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the major sponsors, on behalf of the organising committee, on behalf of the exhibitors, the dealers, and everyone who is here, have a wonderful time at this exhibition. I hope you find as many new stamps as I'm looking for, but I hope I get there first. Thank you very much.
Organise ourselves there a lot more than I think we understood. And ladies.
These are individual stems, and it's a collage. It's got into the Guinness Book of Records. So just, yeah. Thanks. Oh, you here as visitors? Okay, let's take. That's wonderful, thanks. It's very nice. Yeah, no, that's very nice. The Guinness World Records. It is the largest stem mosaic measured 162 meters squared. It's 1,743 feet and was created by a joint group of volunteers from the South African Post Office and the Hatfield Tuition College, South Africa, and it's on in Pretoria between the 12th and the 1st and the 12th of October. It took a month to do, and it's in the Guinness World Book of Records.
To the Transvaal, collect money.
It's amazing. Yeah. Morris, I'll be with you in a minute.
That is, if you sign up for Israel Philately.
This is the Israel Philately Israel Post. Moira, how are you?
I'm fine, Les. How's it?
Good, good. Glad I'll get a message for everyone in Israel. I know you're busy now, but...
Yes, no, it's a very nice show and looking very professional.
And Moira, I must just say, it was amazing what you did for the philatelist. On the front page, it was beautiful, it was magnificent.
Good.
Really, people were so appreciative. Okay, fantastic.
It's got a nice little line, which is quite cute.
Oh, lovely, thanks, Moira.
Yes.
Okay.
How are you, Yakub Shabtai? I am missing you because we met since very long. We are not meeting since very long, so at least you have to email me.
I'll give
I will
you
get
email.
your email back. Thank you.
And Yakub and Eli Weber, you know as well.
Sorry?
Yahoo Weber, Eli Weber,
Yes,
you know.
yes. On Yahoo or on Hotmail, I have both emails.
Wonderful.
So,
That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
I will also give.
Aubrey, it's so nice. And Moira?
Yes, he has. Thank you for your ring.
Have there been a lot of people who've come to visit already? This is Israel Post. Aubrey, it's good to see you. Hey? Morris, it's nice seeing you. SIP. And then, Moira, you give everybody who comes, this is for SIP.
We haven't given it to everybody. What we've done is when people were interested, we haven't just handed them.
Oh, people are interested. Okay, that's lovely.
Can you see the Israeli Postal Authority show it to them?
That's a wonderful
Who's the
idea.
new director? Since Biden retired.
And this is the pamphlet that goes with it.
Okay, that's wonderful. Okay, have people joined up?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay, we just started. It's very nice to see the Israeli flag.
Yes. Are you getting all the Arabs back?
Here they made out of stamps. Brochures and boxes. Stamps in fashion. Handbag. Here's a stamp.
Oh, okay, sorry.
There's the dealers.
It's my wife's son.
I like Canada because it's very like New Zealand.
Average of Playboy then.
Someone, get your phone at Jewish Report.
That's a nice
Why not? Let them, there's
They should be actually, yeah.
federations here, there's
Yeah, you can take pictures, yeah.
no, you can, sure. This is from the Israeli Philatelic Federation.
Yeah, I've got similar stuff like that at home. Similar looking things.
It's very nice. These are all the special awards.
Very nice.
Okay. This is very nice.
Also this, I don't know if you...
Wow, this is nice. Huh?
There's also a yard
Huh?
somewhere. This.
Yeah, that's from the SIP.
Yeah.
I mean, Tzachor is doing this one as well.
Oh, okay.
So what is your name?
Sherry Jaffe.
Oh, very nice, hey?
Yeah.
It's Israel Post. This is it?
Michelle,
I'll
this
just
is
tell you some interesting stuff here. Okay, this is like the first.
Okay, now
First.
Mozambique and Mozambique country. It's amazing, hey?
It's a bit of work, but it's but I've enjoyed it. The truth is, it's been amazing.
You can't, you gotta, you don't, you love it. That's the trouble. They've got lovely stamps there.
They had nice stamps. It was like very colourful, very. No, that's Andrew Fisher's. That's but a nice guy.
Sure, your presentation is very good.
I redid it.
Really?
Yeah, a guy said to me, you have to like read it. There isn't much information on it. You have to like, I did. You know what I did? A lot of the guys from the different, like Portuguese societies in America and in England, they helped. In Portugal, they helped a lot. And you send, scans in, and they show you, you discuss the items and.
Beautifully done. On a computer,
Yeah, I used to do it Corel, and then I changed it to Open Office. I redid the whole thing. Yigal Natanel, he explained me what to do, and I listened to him, and it was amazing. He helped me tremendously.
Who did?
Yigal Natanel and Eli Weber. They were amazing. The Israelis have been unbelievable. They're really tremendously supportive.
Sure, yes, you got a bit of material, my boy.
So here, these are like artists. These were like hand drawn. There's a hand painted.
Sure. Would you pick them up on auctions or?
Yeah, there was one guy that had it all, John Sussex. So I was lucky to get some of it.
Amazing.
So you must have to pull a few teeth out. Les, give me your autograph.
So here they did the drawing, and then here's the stamp underneath. So it's like pretty similar. And then this was outside the water and inside the water.
Unbelievable.
No, it's interesting. It's an interesting country.
It's in a black mount. You put and then sticky at the back. There's no.
So let me show you guys something quite interesting. This one over here, it's this I got, and it was in 2000 and I don't know, it was an exhibition in Tel Aviv.
Yeah.
I get a phone call that somebody wants to buy this cover.
Yeah.
So I said to them, I'll send you a color photocopy. I don't want to sell it.
Yeah.
So they said, this is their family Kibrit. They knew there was family in Alexandria.
Jeez.
They had no idea that there was also a Joseph Kibrit in Beira. They just didn't even know. So, it was amazing. So I sent them a
copy.
Made a photocopy, a color photocopy.
Which they were happy.
It's like they were so happy about it. They had no idea that there was Kibrit in there.
Yeah, that's what I say with
my wife's family. Her father and the grandfather, they were living in Beira.
Jesus,
it's small.
It's not.
This is the Israeli Philatelic Federation. I bought it.
Ah, okay.
It's lovely.
But ours, we had
yours is in the actual catalogue.
I
got a picture of yours.
Are these
from Israel, yeah. This is. זה טוב לשמוע עברית.
אוקיי, תודה, ביי.
No.
Sorry? We not.
Das ist in Kotobane. Union commemoratives. It's the Royal Philatelic. Philatelic collection. these are unique items.
Yes, absolutely. No question on that.
Very nice. No, they said I could.
Oh, did he?
There's no flesh.
Oh, it's a flash that they're worried about.
Oh, this is lovely. Very nice. This is with South Africa. Is Lady Godimer. She's Jewish. So carbon material from South Africa. It's lovely materials.
Post office archives.
Kenny, wasn't there when some material was stolen from the archives?
Yeah.
Did they ever recover it?
More modern period.
They never recovered it. It's Brady Wilkinson and Perkins Bacon. This is a collection on the Shoah from New Zealand. It's called Descent into the Abyss. I'm just going to scan through. It's the first frame. Gee, that came out nice. Quite a handsome chap inside there. That's wonderful. Gee, this is so nice. They had this in Tel Aviv.
To keep it all.
Yeah. I think they had it there in Jerusalem. Yeah, Jerusalem. Yeah, I took my daughter to see the show. Here they take the photos in. It's very nice. Did you see the Court of Honor?
Yes.
There's some lovely material there.
He's got some nice stuff.
I'd like to welcome everybody here tonight. I'd like to welcome the honored guests we have here. We have our foreign commissioners, I understand. Welcome to South Africa. We have our jury. We have representatives from the post office, from the organizing committee, sponsors, visitors, postal authorities, and a whole bunch of other friends. Oh, Michael Safi, the keeper of the Royal Collection. We are surrounded here by very important persons. I'd like to welcome you to South Africa. I'd like you to welcome you to the exhibition, but right now I'd like to welcome you to our reception. I invite you to circulate, meet a lot of people, introduce yourself, say hi, but bottom line, have a good time, enjoy the hospitality. And well, you guys have been on your feet all day, why not be on your feet all night? Have a good time. Yay! Thank you very much. I'm making no speeches.
Once they finish that, the other commissioners are free to go.
From the Viewers Export team. Excuse me, no camera, please.
Yeah, you can just hold this. This is the SRP meeting of Johannesburg. Yeah, if you can just take, just like that, to hold it.
Okay.
Yeah, just to hold it like that, just a finger weighty. Yeah, just if you can see all of it.
Then.
Can we move?
Yeah.
It's not a still camera.
There we go.
Yes, is everybody in the picture? All smile. All smile.
Thanks. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hey, Wayne. Thank you. That's wonderful. This is our P meeting.
Of that, I'd like.
This is the SRP meeting.
To show it to quite a few people. I just think it's good because I'm a very average Jewish guy. I only lost 80 relatives.
I lost all my friends.
Well,
I'm not Jewish, but I grew up in part of Leeds, which was very Jewish.
This is the
then you know what it's like.
New Zealand commissioner who brought the exhibit on the Shoah, the most amazing exhibit.
I was lucky. I just appreciate it, that's all.
And there is another collection.
This is two de Villiers in Paul, Anglo-Boer will cover, and it is possible that, Melissa, really, that you and it could be your family. They were de Villiers from the Cape.
Well, a lot of them lived in the Cape, yeah.
So it could be that cover could be from your family. It's unbelievable.
My father was from the Cape, so the French founders, the de Villiers, that came from from France.
And
so I mean, there are some of the founder families that came into South Africa.
So this was sent from Mozambique, from Lorenzo Marx to the Cape, to de Villiers' family in the Cape. So it could have been sent to your family.
Someone in my family, yeah.
Unbelievable, eh?
There's so many cousins and that you've never, you know. I think there's so many de Villiers. There's a whole book on our family.
Really?
It's this book. It's this thick. My brother's got a copy and my cousin's. It's this thick. The de Villiers is in South Africa.
Oh, that's amazing.
So the
eh?
chances are really good that's family.
That's unbelievable. And then, so this is where somebody actually did see this cover in Tel Aviv, and they said it's their family. Yeah, they saw this cover and they saw it said Kibrit, and they had no idea. They knew they were Alexander in Egypt, but they had no idea that that they had like any connections with Baira in Mozambique. They asked me.
Tell me something. Sorry, going on. Do you specialize in a certain?
This is with a cake.
Okay, so we even definitely I'm not going to receive a further bill from you. No, you see, it's a family member. I'm not going to do that, not at all. But they would do it on. You know what? I'd rather start again. I don't know. This whole thing was very upsetting to us. It's just the principle. It's not the money that was involved. It's just the principle that there was no love and you take over and you said it was not. And you were penalized for it. You know what I mean?
And you can see all the stamps, hey?
Yeah,
this is nice,
very
eh?
interesting.
You
I
see
found the
that?
day that we moved.
You see, that's all the cape.
I found your
They're all
roots.
triangles. You see,
I will swear on my
see
life.
how many triangles there are here?
I will swear on my life.
There we go. This is the Cape of Good Hope. You can see the triangles. And it's very interesting. This is very rare. Very, very rare. This is a whole sheet. It's unbelievable. It's unique.
If it was just one of them, they'd still be valuable.
Very valuable. Very.
So that's not quite a
It's incredible. And can you see over here? If you look over here, they did this whole triangle. Look how many stamps there are. You can see it's quite amazing. You don't often see this, friend. I must tell you, it's just incredible. And then now this one is this was the next issue after the triangles. They did
and then they did the kind of more traditional shape.
much more traditional. Also amazing. Also quite amazing.
There's a number of, those like little perforated kind of things.
So this is the proofs before, and here the stamps are perforated.
But like, are those things, are the numbers, like, do they matter?
Yeah, so it makes a big difference.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a seal where they actually sealed it. It's a seal
You
of
can actually see the thing they pressed on.
yeah.
Yo. This is 1899. Yo.
And it looks like brand new. It looks like today.
Except nowadays we don't do that. We just look at them and it's crazy.
And then Brandon over here, you can have a look. This is where they see here they actually did the drawing and then they made the stamp.
It's a bit fine. I don't like calling in favours of family, but in this case, beautiful
This is amazing. This is the very first stamp of South Africa. It was the Cape Colony, the Cape of Good Hope. And what they did, it's the very first triangle that they ever had. So this is a proof. This is before the stamp was actually issued.
Sure.
So they did this design.
Oh, that
and
was
then
the design.
you can see the colours
Is that
different.
the original design?
That's the 1 penny. The 1 penny.
Yeah.
You can see the 1 penny, the colour of the 1 penny. It was like in red, and that's a proof in black.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm with you.
And you see the sheet over here. This is worth millions.
Because
This
each one's
sheet.
worth £100.
I don't know. You just work it out. Thousands.
And what are these? Why are they different colours?
They had the different shade. They had 1 penny, 4 pennies, 6 pence,
for different
1 shilling.
locations.
But would one be 2 stamps?
A 1 stamp, and then sometimes you put more on a cover. So here you can see here on a cover.
So it's actually a square. It's not really a triangle.
No, the triangles you can see here. Here's a triangle.
Oh, okay. So that is 2 stamps.
Yeah.
2 stamps.
So each stamp you say is
It's
worth like
a fortune.
Yo, that's a lot of money,
You can actually buy it for dealers. It's a fortune.
Sure.
So
Frank, your son designed the doll.
Yeah.
That's the one over there. And your son designed it. So how does he feel knowing that he has a stamp?
He's over the moon. But they never acknowledged him. They actually bought this doll from him.
And they didn't acknowledge him as his son.
No, you know, the thing is they put the people in Condameli where they get made. They think
So it's actually made in Joburg?
I would have thought that. If I'd seen it, I would have definitely not
they made
It's amazing.
Look what I found here. This is it says Mazeltov, a Hebrew wedding on the German stamp.
Really?
I just bought it there.
Unbelievable, eh? So look quickly,
Check at the handbags.
Yeah, made out of stamps.
Yo. This is...
It's lovely, eh? Okay.
And I've written highly included mine in the Kimberleys in Australia. And how I start off with is the creation of diamonds there and there. And I say it ends with fine jewellery. And there's Tim Farouk with his first wife when he was 18 years old. And there she's got diamonds. And then we go on, and then we go into rough diamonds. You see, we move right. And then here is tools. They used the diamonds to make all these Bushman paintings, you see. And all this, and there's the whole story that, you know, they got into trances and what have you.
And they actually use diamonds to do it?
Yeah.
I can believe that.
And here's a letter about the young Smats tried to steal somebody's diamond area, so they got a letter there about it.
Later?
From Jan Smuts, about Jan Smuts.
1907.
And Frank, this exhibit was exhibited in Oppenheimer Museum in Tel Aviv?
Yeah.
In Ramat Gan?
Ramat Gan, yeah. I'll show you the cover they gave me for doing that.
It's nice, eh?
This is amazing. How did you get your hands on something like this? This is so nice.
You know, I bought from one of the deals for $100. These guys don't know what they're selling. So.
You know, I guess you get people who just get them and
my best.
Jacob de Villiers, that's my dad's name.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Jacobus, Jacob de Villiers. My brother's son's name's Jacob now in America. It's Jacob. Check here, made by young Christian and Jacob de Villiers. Hey.
Unbelievable, isn't it? So this is a letter written from Queen Mary.
In
what date
original.
is it? In the original?
1937.
Hey? She's thanking somebody for a gift.
27th of May, it's my birthday.
Telling him,
It's my
really?
birthday on this day, 27th of May.
Except you weren't
Minus a good couple of years.
Unbelievable.
Oh, thank you. That was really so much. I wish we could have gone a bit slower.
Frank, thank you. That's wonderful. This is the Union Buildings. You can see, and it went into the Guinness Book of Records. And there's the South African flag. Everything's made out of stamps. It's collage.
People are clever, eh?
How the heck? Were they perforated stamps?
Yeah.
Were they self-sticking?
But can you see?
Yeah, maybe.
Can you see how they did it? It's
It looks
amazing,
like they
eh?
varnished over them, eh?
I think they did at the end, yeah.
What do you do with this afterwards?
You bring it to stamp exhibitions.
This is it's in the Guinness Book of Records.
Smaller, hey?
Yeah, check it's in broken
Yeah.
Panels.
Look, there's the flag and
It's
the
2010.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they're making the photographs.
Yeah, now don't let
Oh, very nice. It's nice.
Oh, that's cute. And he's so cool.
It's nice. He's cool, eh? This is it, Selwyn's new collection. The postage rates of Israel, the first coin d'Oeuvre issue. It's a very nice collection. There's a lot of research that has gone into here. Now with Selwyn's d'Oeuvre, in the traditional side, he's won a gold. A large gold. That was a large goal that Israel. And in Washington he won a gold. Yeah.
His aim is to get a large gold in Israel, and he said he's going to stop and he said that.
It's such an honor to meet you, Harry. It really is. Brian, can you just... It's nice.
Does that pick it up as well?
Yeah, fix it up. It's a great
How do you work it?
It's fine.
I don't know if it worked.
Yeah, it's fine. Brian, this is yours on the first email issue. Have you ever also gone into Doivry?
No.
It's always a...
I've got that watching the first festivals, which I will do one of these days.
It's magnificent.
There's some new pieces here. This one over here is his actual drawing when he planned the stamps on the Dynastis Rail Station. The back of it. This is how the sheets were printed.
Amazing.
They're cut into 6. And it's only in the government archives. It's a proving pain.
It's magnificent. This is so much research has gone into here.
Different printings and one said I must get more postal history, so I've got quite a lot.
You've got you really do. It's a nice mixture. It's a good balance. Want to take a photo as well? Yeah, I know. You know Eli Weber and Yigal Nathaniel?
Yigal Nathaniel.
He's wonderful.
And Kremenel.
Oh, okay, Moti, wow.
Okay, I know. I was three times in Israel.
Wow.
In 98,
yeah,
in 2008, and in a national exhibition.
Oh, that's right.
With Spain.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
And other countries in 2003, maybe.
That's right.
2003 in Jerusalem.
And Eddie Liebau, Dr. Liebau. Eddie
Liebau.
You know, she's got a
optician.
A dentist.
A dentist. The optician is the wife.
That's right. That's
okay,
right.
I know.
Wow, it's a small world.
I have now in the 5th Congress in Lisbon, Israel and Spain present a motion together to change the statute.
Is that so?
And we won the motion 75 against 13.
Gee, what do you say?
My friend Eli Weber and myself, I know many years ago.
That is, Fernando, that is amazing, Fernando, that is amazing.
I give you the pay one card.
The president of the jury in Malaga?
Yes, in Malaga.
So how come you're not on the jury here?
No, it's not whole jury, European. Only Asiatics and one British and one
American.
No. I cover was in the civil of Isaac Barak. Do you know Isaac Barak from Israel? Yes. It's the only unique from Cuba, the first flight in Cuba. This is the Scarta.
Oh, this is from Isaac Barak.
Yes, Isaac Barak is in the book, the reference in the book of Italia 98.
Wow, hey?
Do you remember Italia 98?
Yeah.
Every exhibitor presents one piece.
Yeah.
Isaac Barak presents this piece in the book. This piece is in the book of the American Airmail Society.
What do you say?
As reference.
Unbelievable.
Yes. People don't know that this book is in the same book with the same number. Is in the book in the American Airmail Society.
So this one is from Yitzhak Barak.
Yes.
He's a thematic. He's got a collection here, Yitzhak Barak.
No.
Yeah.
In this?
Yeah.
This one.
I'll show you here.
Thematics.
They made a mistake. They put it down as.
This is crash cover, Mexico, Cuba.
Wow. What are you saying?
Different types of the etiquette.
It's magnificent.
Zeppelin to Cuba.
Unbelievable.
Please. Catapult Flug from Cuba.
What do you say? Wow.
Catapult Flug of Cuba. Rocket mail. Proofs of rocket mail in Cuba.
Where do you get it? It's so rare.
My second wife,
Yeah.
I like too many to the wife. I have now I am wife with my fourth lady.
A four lady?
Four lady.
Wow.
My second lady was from Cuba.
Is that so?
And I like this. This is.
This is Yitzhak Barak.
This is
So,
Yitzhak Barak.
yeah, so here they
changed. Now they are
I told them,
filtering
no,
automatic.
we knew. He wanted it to go under thematic.
No, I know this material many years ago in the cities of Barak. This material from the pension, pension mail. Yes.
You know, there was a pigeon mail that went, the balloon mail from Paris to Jerusalem.
I know.
Went for $55,000. It was very rare. Under the siege of Paris.
Why is included in?
No, so they made a mistake. I'll tell you what happened. Because of the title, Yitzhak wanted this to go under thematic. So they saw aviation, so they made the mistake and they put it under aerophilately.
Do you know one thing? Do you know this material, the overprint Colombia with the letter of the different countries? Do you know?
I've seen it before.
Please, be with me. Only one frame from Spain.
Wow, really? That is amazing, Fernando. Gee.
I am very old man. I have 70 years old.
70? You don't look it. You don't look it. Wow. Very rare.
Very rare combination.
Combination cover. Wow.
France with Spain.
That's really.
Spain with Italy.
Wow.
Registered hand. Registered machine.
Wow. It has a bisect.
Yes, bisect here. Moment, more, probably more.
And this is a one frame exhibit.
One frame, yes. No more here.
It's amazing. There's some lovely exhibits. Wow. Fernando.
A lot of these exhibits before in the one known exhibit, Monstre. These.
Gee, unbelievable. Fernando, amazing.
The post office experiences all the time. A post office worker at the main sorting office found an unstamped, poorly written envelope addressed to God. He opened it and discovered it was from an elderly lady distressed because some thief had robbed her of her last $100. She was cold and hungry and would be for the rest of the month if God did not intervene and give some form of divine help to her. The postal worker was so touched by this letter that he went round to all his fellow postal workers and took a collection. And between them all, they found and got $96, which he put in an envelope and sent off to this old lady. The following week, there was another scruffy, unstamped letter, which he knew was from this same old lady. And in it was this message: Dear God, thank you for the $100. I couldn't have done without it. This month would have been so bleak otherwise. P.S. It was $4 short, and that was probably some thief in the post office. You'll find in your little packet in front of you some souvenirs that the post office have put together for all of us. But one intrigues me. It is called a Zulu love letter. I don't know much about the Zulus, but this looks very small for a Zulu man. Am I wrong? Ladies and gentlemen, this whole week would not have been possible without the generous support both in financial terms and in manpower terms of the South African Post Office. And we are delighted to have with us tonight the chairperson of the Board of South African Post Office, Ms. Vuyu Mishlati. And I would like to call upon Ms. Mishlati to come and address us on behalf of the Post Office.
Wow. It is a wow indeed, because this week has been a very special week. Masters of ceremonies, representatives of the philatelic organizations, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I stand here today very proud, extremely proud, particularly because our country has been made proud by our own as well as by people of the world. You have honored us by ensuring that today we demonstrate to the world and to South Africans that the stamps, what we call the little ambassadors, are so significant because going through the show, one sees the map of history of the world, our lives entwined in a mosaic of stamps. And I'd like to say thank you so much. Start by thanking the people who have made it so possible, particularly the Philatelic Foundation of South Africa and the Philatelic Federation of South Africa, particularly Mr. Roche and Mr. Matheson, because without you, this wouldn't have been possible. But allow me to start also by recognizing our distinguished guest, which is yourself, and more particularly, the very important people that are holding it all together. The President of the Federation of the International Philately, Mr. Tay, and Mr. Gonvatana, who is the President of the Federation of Inter-African Philately. But allow me also to thank people at home who have made it very possible. The two co-chairpersons of the organizing committee, I think they deserve a round of applause. Mr. Johan van Beek from the Post Office, the African Post Office, and Mr. Green. And dare I say, because I'm a woman, I know what women do. I know behind Mr. Green and Mr. Van Beek, there is Mrs. Van Beek and Mr. Thank you so much. And I'd like to also thank Mr. Kotsi, who's the executive, who launched the 8th definitive stamp, and bringing the historic significance. And Mr. MC, when you talk about the Zulu love letter, that forms part of the communication. That's where we draw from. Because that is how the communication in the beginning, before we had the postal network, started. And it is symbolic that today, as part of that gift, that's what we get. So we are sad today to say the little ambassadors that have graced the Sandton Convention Center from all over the world are now leaving our shores, going back to their respective countries. And truly, would like to extend our gratitude to all those stamp collectors who have, for so many years, ensured that they will make it possible, not just for themselves to be able to come and exhibit, but for us to appreciate what we sometimes forget in terms of the beauty and the wonder of the stamps and what they symbolize and represent. However, I'm hoping that we are not going to wait for another 12 years before this prestigious event is hosted by South Africa again. I believe that we have demonstrated to the philately world that we can do it. South Africa, beyond the South African Post Office, which has tried our best to make sure that we are the best hosts, but we believe that the country, and particularly Johannesburg, has ensured that we welcome you and you are here as the guests that were seriously appreciated. And I hope that you enjoyed Johannesburg as well. I'd like to extend gratitude to the keeper of the Royal Collection from the UK, Mr. Sefi. Please extend our gratitude to the Royal household. Visitors to the STEM show have truly enjoyed being in the presence of royalty through your stamps. The MC earlier said, some of us in this room are what we call in my language, amakara. And the kara is people who are not enlightened. And I must be honest, when the Palmares, I was given a note by the CEO and Johan about coming to the Palmares Awards, I wondered what that is. So I had to whisper, Johan, what is Palmares now? Am I coming to a palm, festival? What's happening? And what he said is, what you're coming to witness are the Oscars of stamps. And I'm so grateful that today as the South African Post Office, we are honored to host the Oscars of stamps. As I conclude, allow me to remind you that South Africa is a young democracy. As the South African Post Office, we are extremely proud to be the institution that holds this historic moment on behalf of the country. It has been amazing to go through the show and experience the history of South Africa through stamps. And particularly this year, because launching the stamp that recognizes the 100 years of the Union in terms of the South Africa, going through to the era where we are of our democracy, one can only be proud in terms of the transformation that we've gone through as this country and how the world has supported us throughout the years. And it is beautiful that you are here with us to celebrate those 100 years. We are also heartened by the fact that the same year is the celebration of the 100 years of this South African Post Bank. And as we celebrate this 100 years, we are honored by our parliamentarians who passed the bill for the Post Bank to move from just being a savings bank to being a full bank. So this year has been a special year, and we hope that when we release these stamps, that you will keep on buying them, get that price going up, you dealers, and make sure that this year is never forgotten, and we will never forget you for honoring us. Thank you so much.
Free extra perforation holes. I'm told it's for security, but in fact I believe it's so that people in New Zealand can have more confetti at their weddings. Right, we come to that part of the evening where you have your main course. Please enjoy it, and just going back to the program in front of you, immediately after the main course will be the entertainment. So please enjoy the course. Thank you.
This is Mr. Bob Vechter, who's written a book on dramatics and was exhibited in Tel Aviv 2 years ago. So he's one, the Palmares. Okay. Do you want to give a message to... Okay, this is Jill, and your surname? Sorry?
Redmond.
Okay, this is Jill Redmond, Secretary of...
REDMON.
Okay, and you are the honorary secretary?
No, I'm the Secretary of the Philatelic Federation.
Of South Africa?
South Africa.
And you got a gold in Bloemfontein how long ago?
Gosh, at our national.
The
national every year, except for this year.
Okay, so it was,
We have an
so
international.
Bloemfontein was last year.
Bloemfontein was our last
And you
national.
got a gold, and then this year they've dropped you to a silver of 72.
So that's 4 levels down. One expects to go 1, maybe 2 levels down. This was 4. I haven't checked out who the jurors were. I have been told they were from the east, in which case they may not have known the language. I'm completely bewildered.
Don't worry, I wouldn't worry. No, Jill, I wouldn't worry. Anyway, Jill, you were very upset, eh? You must be tremendously upset.
No, I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it.
So, and how many points did you get for your gold in Bloemfontein?
Oh, I can't remember.
But it was a gold. It was a
It
proper
was a
gold.
gold, that's all that matters.
And then to go down to a silver here.
At 72, yes. Not even scraping anything, silly. And yet, a couple of other exhibits I looked at, our juniors would do better. And they got the same, not a higher.
And how many years were you involved with the youth? For youth
Oh, I started in 1982. And I kept going. I resigned in 2004. I had to. I had too much on my plate. I'd been widowed and I just couldn't cope with it.
And with the Federation, how long have you been?
I started with them in 83. Yes, but I enjoy it. You know, you're in the swim, you're with everybody, and
I think they made a big mistake.
it gets a bit boring now and again with the minutes and things, but you manage, you know. But no, I wasn't tempted to cry or even to stamp up and down. I was just too bewildered, and I still am. How they could do that. But I think our own people should have checked.
They should have checked.
They
really should have.
checked the results. One or two that I spoke to afterwards are horrified. And they said they would look into it, but it's too late. I accept that. It's too late.
So you'll exhibit in Israel one day, in the next exhibition, I guarantee you'll do much better. I guarantee you.
No, it's not that. It's the injustice. That's all. You know, just going for gongs, it takes all the fun out. But when you thoroughly enjoy doing an exhibit, somebody said to do that, and you do it. The international judge said to me about it. I followed everything he said. And he said, okay, you're going to have a look. He seemed so thrilled that I followed everything he said.
I'm going to have another job. This is a better camera.
Have you got a good one, Brian? I've known Brian for you. Is that...
My version of it, the post office. This man's walking along the beach and he finds one of these Arabian-type bottles that we all dream about. And of course he picks it up and he gives it a good rub with his handkerchief, and out pops a genie. And the genie says to him, "For releasing me from that bottle, you can have any wish that you want." And the man said, "Well, my greatest wish is that all the conflicts in Africa come to an end. The civil wars in the Sudan, the problems in Eritrea, in all the countries of Africa, that all the problems of Africa are immediately solved and peace reigns over Africa." And the genie said to him, "That really is a tall order. I know I promised you anything you wanted, but I think that's asking too much. Can you think of another wish?" So he says, "Well, yes, actually I can. I'm a philatelist. And what I would like is a complete set of all the reprints of the South African 7th definitive issue." And the genie said, "Now let's talk more about the problems of Africa." Incidentally, how many of you knew that tonight is a famous anniversary for Africa? One of the events of recent years that really put Africa on the world map. Who knows? Tonight is the 36th anniversary of the Rumble in the Jungle in Kinshasa. An amazing event, those of us who are old enough to remember it. It's also, incidentally, Diego Maradona's birthday, but I think we can forget that. And before we pass on, I have one final little story for you. And one has to tell these stories at functions like this about the blonde. The blonde goes into the post office to buy stamps for her Christmas cards. And she says to the clerk, "May I have 50 Christmas stamps?" And the clerk says, "What denomination?" She says, "Well, if you insist, 12 are Catholics, 14 are Protestants." All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move to more important and serious things. We are honored tonight to have with us an ensemble of 10 young musicians from Busgate. Busgate is a charitable trust registered both here in South Africa and in the United Kingdom. It was founded in 1992 by a British viola player named Rosemary Naldi. And this was in response to a BBC radio interview highlighting the difficulties of a group of young string players in Diepkloof in Soweto. So Rosemary, together with 120 other professional musicians, organised a simultaneous busk. You know, busk with the drums and all that, and 16 British railway stations, and raised £6,000 for these musicians in Diepkloof. The Busgate Soweto String Project was established by Rosemary in January of 1997 when she first came to work here in South Africa in response to requests from the Diepkloof community. She has been honoured by the Queen for the work that she has done in this regard. The musicians of Busgate have played all over the world, including the Royal Albert Hall, where I understand they played at the last night of the Proms. They have been and were in the presence of Her Majesty the Queen, as well as the Duke of York and the Earl of Wessex, better known in this part of the world as Andrew and Edward. We are honoured to have them here tonight. Gramophone Record says that Busgate is in the top 10 most inspiring musical groups in the world. And compare them, we include in that list the Berlin Philharmonic Orchestra. The organising committee felt that a full orchestra would be too much culture for you lot. And so they have arranged, through the kind donation of a sponsor who wishes to remain anonymous, for this 10 group of musicians to come and perform. They will be performing 4 songs, or 4 tunes rather. The first, and excuse my pronunciation if I get it wrong, is called Ecosession, then the well-known Funiculi Funicular, then the tune Fever, and because they couldn't trust me with pronouncing the name of the 4th song, I'm told it's simply a Queller song. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you and to ask you to raise your hands and recognise the Busgate Chamber Ensemble.
When you put your arms around me, I can feel that so much you make you fever. In the morning, fever when you hold me tight. Fever. In the morning, fever all through the night. Sun lights up the daytime, moon lights up the night. I light up when you call my name, and you know I'm on the trees like hear me fever. When you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight. Fever in the morning, fever all through the night. It's the fever, that is something you won't know. Fever isn't such a new thing, fever started long ago. Romeo loved Juliet, Juliet, she felt the same. When you put these arms around her, he said, Juliet, you're my friend, I give a fever. When we kiss it, fever with my flame in you. Fever, I'm a fire, fever, you're a bird too. Captain Smith and Pocahontas had a really mad affair. When the daddy tries to kill him, she said, Daddy, don't you bet you can fever. When he kisses, fever when he holds me tight. Fever, I'm his missus, so Daddy, won't you treat him right? Now you listen to my story. Yes, the one that I have made. Chicks who want to give you fever, being very righteous and secret, they give you fever. When you kiss them, fever if you live and learn. Fever, so you sizzle, what a lovely way to burn. What a lovely way to burn. Oh, what a lovely way to burn. What a lovely way to burn.
Your choice. Watch all these programs, the reality TV, trying to make pop stars, and yet we have talent like that. We don't need pop stars. Cascade is what we need. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a couple of slight additions to the program. I would like to call upon Ms. Musati, the chairperson of the Post Office, to come up.
From the South African Post Office to Ms. Green.
He wants to make a couple of presentations as well, so let's do that at this point in time.
Well, first of all, I was a little bit sort of overwhelmed. I think we were talking about heat early on. I certainly feel it now. But it is my pleasure this evening to perform a couple of tasks. First and foremost, I would like to call on Mrs. Musati to present her with a medal from the exhibition for all her contributions, for the contributions of the Post Office. And please, you can please go up. And I'll present you with something. And likewise, we'd like to also honor you for your contribution as well. Thank you so much. People like Johan and other people, we will, members of our committee, we will deal with them in due course. But this evening, I have another very important duty. I'd like to call on Michael Sethi to please accept from us, on behalf of Queen Elizabeth II of Great Britain, also a medal for the privilege of having a portion of their collection here in South Africa. And last but not least at this stage, I think we have one of the best MCs we've ever come across, that you can come across, not only at the opening ceremony, but this evening as well. And I'd like to ask Adrian de Bourman to come up, and we'd also like to hand over the medal to him as well.
Thank you. All right, we now turn to the formal part of the evening, the Palmaris part. We start this with the presentation of the report of the jury, and it gives me great pleasure to call upon Andrew Chung from Hong Kong, who was Secretary of the Jury, to come and present the jury report.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the jury of Joburg 2010, the 26th Asian International Stamp Exhibition, has completed judgment, and we are pleased to present this report. The jury judged a total of 313 exhibits. The quality of exhibits shown by FIEP member countries, as well as exhibits from Canada, Germany, Great Britain, Israel, Italy, Spain, Sweden, and the United States of America, was extremely high. Altogether, 36 large gold medals and 19 gold medals were awarded. We are grateful for Her Majesty's Queen Elizabeth II and the Court of Honor participants, bringing with us magnificent exhibits which created enormous interest amongst the public. Special thanks are due to the FIEP coordinator, the FIEP secretary, national commissioners for the efficiency and hard work. Finally, we wish to thank the hospitality and friendship of the Joburg 2010 volunteers and the excellent facilities and support provided by the organizing committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andrew. We pass then to the presentation of the Gold and Large Gold Awards. Because of time constraints, we are only going to present to those winners who are present here this evening. The others will receive their awards through the appropriate national commissioners. I'd like to call upon the newly elected president of the International Federation of Philatelists, Mr. Tay Peng Yang, to come forward, and he will present the awards. When your name is called, if you could please come up as quickly as possible to receive it. We'll start with the golds. From Israel, Glassman.
Could you video? Where? You just hold. Where?
From Nepal, Rishi Kumar Tulisan.
Thank you very much.
I hope I pay you.
Thank you very much.
From South Africa, Danny Swart. From the United Arab Emirates, Mohammed Syed. From South Africa, Barry Smith. Small step in the front and a fairly big one on the side, so take your choice. From the United Kingdom, Michael Smith. And turning to those who were awarded a large gold, Arthur Gray from Australia. Also from Australia, John Sinfield. From South Africa, Emil Berman. From Sweden, Douglas Storenfeld. From Sweden, Richard Bowden. From Sweden, Jan Olaf Lund. Finally, from the United States, Keith Klugman.
Keith, well done, hey.
Thank you very much, Mr. Day. You realise, of course, with one more Swede, we could have reformed ABBA.
Keith, well done, hey. You deserve it, hey. You really deserve it. Outstanding.
Pass next, then, to the Grand Prix Awards. The first Grand Prix, presentation of these awards will be made by the President of FIAC, Mr. Gondatana. You come forward, please. The first award is for the Grand Prix National, which is awarded to Mr. Keith Klugman for his classic Victorian in the past.
Fantastic, Keith. Well done, hey.
The next award, or the next two awards, there are more than one candidate. And if I've understood the system correctly, the jury has voted in secret ballot for the winner of each of these awards, the Grand Prix International and the Grand Prix d'Honneur. And what we're going to do, we will deal first of all with the Grand Prix International. The secretary of the jury and the chairman of the jury will come forward, if you would please, to the table to my right, and they will, in front of all of you, count the votes and announce the winners. The nominees are, in some like Oscars, and if you've had enough wine, I'm looking like Shirley Theron by now. We have Mr. Richard Burden for his Swedish military and volunteers in war campaigns. Mr. Arthur Wu of the United Kingdom for Argentina, the issues of Buenos Aires, Córdoba and Corrientes. And thirdly, Mr. Nunta Wat Ika Yukati of Thailand for his King Rama VIII and World War II. So the votes will now be counted. I don't know how many of you remember that famous line from not the 10 o'clock news of David Frost all those years ago, where he said it had been announced from Moscow that the Kremlin had been broken into and next year's election results stolen. I am assured that the votes are going to be counted, but it does remind me of something I read the other day. And what it said was this: there are three types of people in the world: those who can count and those who can't. It's obviously taking a bit longer. We're just so used to elections in Africa where the results are known beforehand. Let me tell you a story. A young stamp collector asked a respected, aged and advanced philatelist how he made his collection so full and so valuable. And the old guy looked at this young nuisance and said, "Well, young man,